And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We have a great show for you today, as always. We are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we're on podcasting apps, the major ones, folks: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, folks. However you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Tuesday, so we're gonna still update our NFL cash and trash list. There's still games being played, obviously, so we can still, celebrate some cash performances and look at some not good performances, because we do have some trash performers, and it is truly unfortunate, these players that we have to put on here. But man, oh man, turnovers in the playoffs, in the red zone in the playoffs. Cannot be having that. So we do have to still update the cash and trash list. We're also going to be looking at our like we did last week, we're going to look at our power rankings again. We're not going to change our power rankings, but we're going to see what they were at the end of week 17. We haven't updated them since the start of the playoffs, so there's 4 teams left. Theoretically, all those 4 teams should have been our top 4 teams in our power ranking. So we'll revisit that as well, kind of talk it through it again. And yeah, that's kind of what we got. Well, of course, we're breaking down basketball today. A lot of games on yesterday, some good games. The Lakers losing to the Warriors. I love to see the Warriors winning. They got so much slander this season. Early in the season, Steph Curry wasn't hitting and everybody was, clowning that man. So I'm glad that they're back to having success. They've got Steve Kerr. He'll figure it out. They've got Steph Curry. They'll figure it out. They got Draymond Green. They'll figure it out. I mean, Klay Thompson, yes, he's fantastic. And yes, obviously, if he was, in the starting lineup and healthy, they would be the first team in the West. But this is still a dynasty. It's not one player that really focused around on what that dynasty was in Golden State. So they still got, 3 of the 4 core main pieces of the dynasty, and they're still making it work. So we're breaking down all the basketball games as well today. But before we get into all that, you guys already know we have to do our daily stories. A couple of them here today. So let's start with this one. Michael Thomas, he had no catches last week against the Bucks. Truly unfortunate. But he's been battling a lot of injuries. So we do have a couple of tweets here by Adam Schefter. Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas is likely to have surgeries on both the torn deltoids and other injured ligaments in his right ankle this offseason. So the man's always banged up, ton of, torn deltoid, and, dealing with, an injured ankle. And then we get this: Michael Thomas often wouldn't practice all week and would still be playing in games at much less than 100% with pain medication. And the NFL's got the good stuff, and he's still not 100%. So that's how an injury is real bad, when the NFL can't even fix it immediately. So the coaches even told him that him being injured is better than him being out, so he muscled through it and played. So a true warrior, a true champion. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out well. They lost. He had no catches, and it's unfortunate. And, Michael Thomas, I think he came out and said it, or it's just kind of, extrapolated that Michael Thomas was playing through the injuries because he knew this was Drew Brees' last year and he wanted to try and get him one more ring, and I would have loved to see that, but I guess we're going to get Drew Brees. Pretty much he's going to retire with only one ring. It's truly unfortunate. I want to make this man the GOAT, the greatest of all time, but the one ring, it's just unfortunate. His records are there. His yards are there. I mean, multiple 5,000-yard seasons. That's amazing. It's honestly amazing. No other player has more than one, and he's got like 4, 5. He may even have 5. So it's truly unfortunate. He's only got one ring, and he's going to be done this season. Oh, man, age, father time. It is truly unfortunate, man. It is truly unfortunate. Brady's looking up there as well, so he's probably got one more season, because this man is barely completing 50% of his passes here in the playoffs. So father time catches up with everybody, and Drew Brees seems to be the first one to go here. Alrighty, Sean McVay and Jared Goff's relationship needs, quote, marriage counseling from this source. Trouble brewing in LA. I mean, if I was Sean McVay, I'd be a little frustrated as well. I have the number one defense in the league, and the offense cannot consistently perform. I mean, they can barely score touchdowns. They can barely put up more than 20 points. So, yes, Sean McVay is probably frustrated with the entire offense, not just Jared Goff. They had a little bit of a bad luck here in the playoffs with no Cooper Kupp and Jared Goff battling the thumb injury. So it is truly unfortunate, but I really think they kind of caught their stride at the end of the season when Jared Goff was healthy before getting injured, week 16. So it is truly unfortunate, but I think everything's going to be fine. I think Jared Goff's got at least one more season as along with Sean McVay. They really needed to get to the playoffs this season. They won a playoff game this season, so I think it really kind of cooled all the flames currently of moving off of Sean McVay or Jared Goff. So I think they bought themselves one more year, but Jared Goff definitely needs to take that next step of being an elite quarterback. He's proven he can get you to the Super Bowl. He's proven that he can win the division and get to the playoffs multiple years in a row and multiple times, but he has to take that next step to be elite, to constantly have that offense moving and scoring points and going 12-4 and not having to settle for a wild card spot, maybe even going 13-3 or 14-2. It's possible. We are seeing it now. Teams go 14-2. It's not out of the realm of possibility. So Jared Goff definitely needs to take the next step. They've got all the pieces. Sean McVay maybe needs to kind of brighten, or broaden his horizons in the play calling because, I'm not ready to place 100% of the blame on Jared Goff for the poor offense. I am still kind of looking at Sean McVay, but they bought another year together, I believe, and we'll see how they go with a healthy Jared Goff. Alrighty, truly an unfortunate story here. Ravens have waived 4 veterans, and really the only person that we really need to focus on here is Robert Griffin III is no longer in the Ravens. He had his chance when, Lamar had COVID and that whole COVID outbreak, so he goes and starts for the Ravens, and he played very well, but he's too good for his own good, folks. He's too fast for his own good. The only reason why he got injured in that game because he was too fast. It was a non-contact injury. He was just running, I think it was on his 40-yard. Did he score a touchdown on that run? I know it was like at least 40 yards. It was a huge run, but that's when he got injured, just running because he's too quick, he's too explosive, he's too fast, and his body unfortunately cannot keep up with him, and we've seen it throughout his entire career. So this is probably the most unfortunate story of the entire season, folks, of Robert Griffin getting cut because he's not going to get picked up anywhere because they know he's a great talent. His body just cannot keep up with him. And I'm going to say it again, it's unfortunate. It is truly unfortunate. Too fast. He's almost as quick as Lamar Jackson, given everything he's gone through. Maybe a step slower than Lamar Jackson, but the explosiveness is still there. The arm strength I thought was pretty good. The accuracy was pretty good. I mean, we only saw him for about 3 quarters, I believe, this season, but he was looking real good. It's just truly a shame that he's too good for his own good. His body cannot keep up with him. I mean, RG3's got to get everything just transplant everything. Give me new legs, give me new arms. I'm gonna still stay the same core, but I need better ligaments in my body because my knees and my my ankles just cannot keep up with it. So unfortunate there. We wish him the best of luck. If he's 100% healthy and he wasn't always getting hurt, he would be a starter in this league, folks. That's how good this man is, but unfortunate. Alrighty, here we go. We said this a couple days ago. Jordan Clarkson having a real good year. NBA TV tweets out this tweet here saying, is Jordan Clarkson the early favorite for 6th man of the year? And yeah, we say so. I mean, he's averaging 17 points a game, 50% shooting, 42% from the 3. So yeah, that's exactly what he needs to do off the bench, bring in the scoring. And he's doing that very well. What is it? I'm blanking on the name. Donovan Mitchell. So when Donovan Mitchell's out, and Rudy Gobert are out, he's in and doing very, very well. So love Jordan Clarkson. He was fantastic in the bubble last season, carrying it over here for this season. And he's got our early vote here for the 6th man of the year award. Alrighty, Blake Griffin over the last 6 games, absolutely atrocious. I really wanted to root for Detroit this season. I thought at the end of the season, last season, before, because they didn't even make it in the bubble, but before their season kind of got cut short, I thought Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose were really kind of growing, their chemistry and their talent on the floor and kind of getting back to where they were when they were at their primes. But Blake Griffin's not doing that. Derrick Rose is having a decent season coming off the bench, but Blake Griffin cannot get it going. These are his numbers over the last 6 games. 11 points a game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He's shooting 35%, and he's shooting 23% from the three. Why are we taking all these threes? You cannot make them. You're not LeBron. You haven't, developed that three-point shot yet. So he's really not playing to his strengths. We're going to highlight it heavily because he just played yesterday, and his stats still reflect all these numbers, so we'll break him down a little bit more. But Pistons truly letting me down here. I really wanted to root for them, kind of be the dark horse in the NBA this season, but I think they got 3 wins. It's not working. It is truly not working there. Alrighty, and the Blazers getting more bad news here. CJ McCollum, he's out with a small hairline fracture in his left foot. He has to be reevaluated in 4 weeks, so he's out for a month. Yusuf Nurkic is already out with a wrist injury, so 2 big scorers, 2 big names. Both of these are starters on the Blazers. So Blazers, look for them not to be good for the next couple of weeks, and we just saw them yesterday. They played, they lost, and they just didn't have enough scores to keep up. So CJ McCollum out for 4 weeks. Not looking good. Alrighty, so those are all the stories that we had to talk about today and cover. So let's move on to the NBA games from yesterday. Then we'll do our NFL topics. So here we go. First game up on the docket is Magic in the Knicks. And this was kind of part of our live bet. We took the Magic -2. It was a close game. It was tied in the 4th quarter. But who was it? What do we got here? RJ Barrett and Julius Randle with some huge buckets down the stretch. Young players performing down late down the stretch, and that's exactly what you want to see. And Tom Thibodeau really has this Knicks team playing very well, and this is a team definitely to watch out for. This is the new dark horse in the NBA. I thought it was going to be Detroit, but it's the Knicks. Who would have guessed that the Knicks are finally having success here? And you love to see it. So RJ Barrett, 22 points, huge buckets in the 4th quarter, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. He shot 47%, very, very good. 0 of 3 from 3, so not the greatest, but, he only took 3. Got to hit some of those. Julius Randle, like I said, also big buckets down the stretch, 21 points, 17 rebounds. Holy cow, monster game. He shot 5 of 19, not good at all, but, he got to the free throw line a bunch, 9 of 13 from the free throw line. That's exactly what you want to see. Obviously, we want you to hit 13 out of 13, but I'll take 9 out of 13. You're getting there a lot and all those rebounds, so truly a hassle of him in the paint. Not a lot of bench contribution from the Knicks this game, but they didn't need it. So the leading scorer off the bench for the Knicks was Emmanuel Quickley with 11 points. He shot 40%, not terrible coming off the bench in only 15 minutes. So some good young starters here, RJ Barrett, like I'm saying, Julius Randle, and Tom Thibodeau's got all these players playing very well. I mean, Austin Rivers coming off the bench, 2 points in 17 minutes. That definitely has to be a little bit better. But they kind of got bailed out with their lack of bench scoring because Orlando couldn't put up that many points either. They only put up 84 points throughout the entire game. So let's talk about them for a second. Aaron Gordon, 18 points. Vucevic, 24 points. That's what they do. Aaron Gordon, a little light on the scoring. He's usually around, the 20, 22 mark. So 18, just a tad off. But he was plus 15 on the floor, so that's actually real good. That was some good defense. If you are having a plus minus when you lose the game, that's a pretty good indication that you had a good defensive outing in Aaron Gordon here with a plus 15 in a loss. Alrighty, off the bench, Terrence Ross, huge contribution here, 19 points, actually the second leading scorer of the team. But really look at these stat numbers, look at these point numbers. These are truly pathetic. James Ennis, 5 points. He's starting. Then we get Aaron Gordon with 18. Vucevic with 24. That's fine. I got no problem with that. But Cole Anthony, 6 points. Dwayne Bacon, 2 points. I mean, and then we get to the bench scoring. That's not any better. Yes, we have Terrence Ross with 19. But Gary Clark with 0 points. Jordan Bone with 5 points. So it's like no deep bench here for the Magic, and that really did hurt them here. So Knicks get the win, 91-84. Very well done. Look out for the Knicks. They are, let me bring this up real quick. Here it is, the NBA standings. They are, where are the Knicks at? They're number 6 in the East, so, playoff contention so far. The top 8 teams in the playoffs. Knicks number 6, very well done. At 7-8, not bad. Now, number 7 is the Cavs at 6-7, and the Hawks are 8 at 6-7. Magic outside looking in at number 9 of the playoffs at 6-8. So, yeah, kind of two, bottom of the half, bottom half of the league here. But, these are rising teams, young teams. They'll get better throughout the season. So look out for this Knicks team, folks. They're already pretty good, and they'll probably get even better. Alrighty, Timberwolves and Hawks. Hawks kind of blew them out a little bit. They had a big lead in the fourth quarter. D'Angelo Russell for the Timberwolves made it a little interesting at the end of the game, bringing the lead a little close, but then the Hawks went and pulled it away. They made it, I think, about a 5-point game with like 3 minutes left, something like that, but then the Hawks just took over again. So, all right, what do we got? Trae Young, he's absolutely balling out this season. 20 points from him, 2 of 5 from 3, not the worst, but 13 assists, and 8 rebounds. I mean, that's fantastic. That's 28, 13, and 8. I mean, holy cow, what a game by him. And then they got Clint Capella, great pickup from them. 23 points, 15 rebounds. Very well done again. And they got Rajon Rondo off the bench. I mean, this team picked up a lot of good pieces in the offseason, and they're trying to make a run here. Let's bring up the Hawks record. As we said, they were number 8. Yep, that's right. Yeah, they're number 8 in the East, so, just barely making the playoffs so far. Still a lot of basketball to be played, obviously, but, so far in the playoffs, like to see that. Let's talk about the Wolves right here. I mean, Timberwolves, not good. Where are they in the playoffs right now? How many wins do they even have? Timberwolves are last in the West at number 15. So, not good here. They probably won't be contenders of trying to make the playoffs. I mean, D'Angelo Russell had a fantastic game at 31 points, 7 assists, but at the end of the day, who else is he going to? Karl Anthony Towns isn't playing, so you got no other piece, really. I mean, who are we counting here on the starting lineup? Besides D'Angelo Russell, we got Malik Beasley, 15 points, all right, but then we get Naz Reid with 9, Jared Vanderbilt with 8, and Josh Okogie with 4 points. I mean, they're not getting it done. Anthony Edwards coming off the bench with 12 points. We can give him a little respect, but he did play 30 minutes and only shot 31%, so not great here. Timberwolves are a bottom team. Hawks are trying to rise. They've got all the pieces, and they got some good pieces. Trae Young, he's having a great season. He's always good, so watch out for the Hawks, too. Hawks and Knicks, dark horses in the East. Alrighty, then we move on to some better teams, Spurs and the Blazers. And the Blazers, as we said, no CJ McCollum, no Yusuf Nurkic, and they're losing to the Spurs here. And this Spurs team, they're back, folks. They are back. They took a 1 year off of the playoffs from last season, but they're right back on it now. I think they're number 4 in the West. Number 5 in the West at 8-6. Very well done to the Spurs. So they got great pieces here. Greg Popovich, I mean, nobody questions his credentials of what he's done in this league. He's a fantastic head coach. Maybe, the Bill Belichick of the Patriots, if you want to make that kind of comparison. Alrighty, so let's start here with the Spurs, the winning team. DeMar DeRozan, 20 points. Keldon Johnson, 10 points. LaMarcus Aldridge, 22 points. That's what we're talking about. And then the fantastic bench contribution here from the Spurs. Patty Mills with 21 points. Absolutely fantastic. Rudy Gay with 21 points. Jacob Poeltl with 11 points. So they're deep. They got weapons everywhere. Rudy Gay off the bench. Patty Mills off the bench. That is a deep bench, folks. Absolutely love it. Yeah, DeJounte Murray also kind of clutched down the stretch here. What do we got here in the notes? Yeah, DeJounte Murray kind of clutched down the stretch. Very well done. 9 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds. That's what we want to see. So very well done by the Spurs team. Greg Popovich got them back at championship contenders, and we love to see that. Alrighty, Portland Trail Blazers. I mean, the only good thing about this Blazers team, we all know Damian Lillard's fine, but I really love the Derrick Jones Jr. I love him as a player, but he doesn't produce. He just doesn't produce, and it is truly unfortunate. 5 points in 30 minutes, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. So it's decent. It's solid contribution, I guess. Not great. He can obviously do more. 5 points. He's really doing the bare minimum for a starter. Like, these are definitely not starter numbers. But then we get freakishly athletic plays like this one that we're going to show right here. I mean, this is really why I love him as a player. He's so explosive. We're going to get it here. It's going to be a block. Nice little chase down on LaMarcus Aldridge. And you just see him flying up. Let's watch this again. I mean, that's absolutely beautiful. Dang. I loved when he was on the Heat, when he was on the Heat last season. But he really got no burn because he doesn't really produce in the stat sheet. And now he's definitely not a starter. I would like to see him as a starter, but there's really something about his game. He's really just explosive, and that's it. Doesn't really know what to do with the explosiveness or kind of turn that explosiveness into consistent points and rebounds and assists. Really doing the bare minimum here, but then we get plays like that. So the man's freakishly athletic, but he really has to learn how to kind of be productive on the court in a system of being, not the number one option. He's really kind of the fourth option or the fifth option here in their starting lineup without Jusuf Nurkic and CJ McCollum. Alrighty, so that's enough of Derrick Jones Jr. Let's go to Damian Lillard at 35 huge points from him, 6 assists. He shot 43% and 30% from 3. When you're, putting up 35 points, that's pretty decent. Rodney Hood getting the start over CJ McCollum here, and he did very well. 21 points, not a lot of assists and rebounds, but the points was there, and that's what you're missing with CJ McCollum. So that's exactly what you want to make up when you bring in, a second string into the lineup. So very well done to Rodney Hood. Shot 64%. That's absolutely fantastic. That's right around, I don't even know if CJ McCollum is averaging 64% on the season. So very well done for Rodney Hood stepping up. Enes Kanter back in the starting lineup now that Jusuf Nurkic is out as well. So love to see him getting more play. Love Enes Kanter. I think he's a great player. Very underutilized last season on the Celtics, so love to see him back on a starting roster. 9 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, doing what he does. Didn't get to the free throw line a lot, so would like to see that clean up a little bit. But, -4 overall, so decent defense, especially when you lose by, double digits. They lost by double digits? Yeah, I mean, they lost by 21 points, and Enes Kanter was only a -4 on the floor, so not, that's what he does. Great defender down low. Alrighty, I think we can move on from this game. Spurs getting the win, 125-104 over the Blazers. Actually, quickly, let's see where the Blazers are in the standings. They're currently number 6 right here. And, this is not good because they get the Warriors right under them at 7. I can see the Warriors surpassing them with all these injuries of the Blazers here. So, and we're talking about probably 4 weeks till they're back at full strength. That's a lot of games that can be played in there. So Blazers currently at the 6th seed, but by the time they get everybody back, they may be like where they were last year in the bubble, having to kind of win out to get even, that 8th seed in the playoffs. So they'll be fighting down the stretch there to kind of keep their playoff spot, I believe. Alrighty, let's move on. Suns and Grizzlies, and oh my goodness, Ja Morant's first game back, and woof. Can we appreciate Ja Morant for a second? I think he's the first youngest player that's really kind of embracing a starting role at a young age that's really making a huge impact in the games on a game basis. If you understand what I said there, if I try to explain it the best I can, but this man is really stepping up here. He's having a magnificent season. He's back, and he picked up exactly where he left off. 17 points, 10 assists. He shot 50%, got to the free throw line 8 times, made 6 of them. Yeah, and he was also clutch down the stretch. A huge assist to Grayson Allen that put him up by 3. A huge clutch 3 by Grayson Allen. We'll talk about him in a second. But then we get John Morant really closing out the game. With an easy layup that kind of kept it at a 3-point game late in the fourth quarter. We're talking like 40 seconds left, 30 seconds left. So very well done to John Morant. Clutch down the stretch. Great floor facilitator. Great leader on the floor. And everybody else really elevates their game because of how well this man plays. So very well done, John Morant. 17 points, 10 assists. Great. What else do we got here about the starting lineup? Xavier Tillman, 12 points. Brandon Clark, 17 points. Kyle Anderson, 10 points. Like to see that. Dylan Brooks, oh my goodness, he definitely has to step it up a little bit because he got bailed out big time here. The Grizzlies win, but Dylan Brooks, 1 of 10, 10% shooting, and he only put up 3 points. Definitely got to get a little bit better there. All right, let's quickly talk about Grayson Allen. I hate him as an actual person, I think. I mean, he seems like a very dirty person, dirty player, and this goes back to his time at Duke, tripping players, putting his foot out, injuring other people's ankles. You can't be doing that in football. That's like the cardinal sin. Everybody knows not to do that. Don't intentionally go under somebody when they're, performing a jump shot. Let them land. Grayson Allen, I think he's already in a little bit of hot water this season as well, kind of before we started, getting deep into basketball this season. But I think he actually kind of had as a trip this season. He tripped somebody this season. So he's a kind of a dirty player, and I really don't respect that in the NBA at all. And really at professional sports. I mean, we're talking about the best athletes, literally their bodies sacrificing every single play, every single game. I mean, we can't be, making dirty plays out here. Ruining people's careers, ruining greatness, especially when Grayson Allen, he's not great himself. He's a good player, and he was clutch this game, so I will give it to him. Grayson Allen, 16 points, 6 rebounds. I mean, he's coming off the bench, 26 minutes. That's pretty good minutes for him. 50% from the field, 40% from the 3. The big 3 late that put them up by 3, kept that 3-point lead with a minute left. So huge game by him. And I think, so I don't like him as a person, but I do like him as a player. I think he's very, very consistent. His game is very similar to J.J. Redick, but I think he's already a little bit more consistent than J.J. Redick is and a little bit more clutch than J.J. Redick is. So that's what Grayson Allen has going for him. Good game here by him, 16 points. Actually, the second leading scorer of the squad. Can you believe that? Alrighty, let's go to the Phoenix Suns now. They ended up losing this game. Truly unfortunate because I really love the Phoenix Suns this season. Close game. They kind of beefed it a little bit down the stretch. They were kind of, winning all game, lead in the fourth quarter, but then they ended up squandering it. So unfortunate there. Devin Booker, let's see what he was doing. Ooh, boy, 23% from the field. Not good. 5 of 21. He only put up 12 points as well, so not great there. Chris Paul, 16 points, 7 assists, a classic Chris Paul game. DeAndre Ayton has been absolutely balling this season. I mean, the pick and roll game between Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton, I mean, it's truly fantastic, folks. And it's really the reason why the Suns are having so much success here this season. DeAndre Ayton, the leading scorer on the Suns. He's a center, 18 points, and he also had 16 rebounds. Huge game, monster game on the boards. Love to see that. 4 offensive rebounds as well. More second chance points, second chance opportunities. So DeAndre Ayton having a great season so far. Really, all their starters here on the Suns are very good. They are kind of a little bit short on the bench. No bench players here in double-digit scoring. We had Javon Carter with 8 points, Jay Crowder with 5 points, Cameron Payne with 5 points, Frank Kaminsky with 8 points. So they've got some decent names, some role player names on the bench, but they don't always perform in every game. That's why they're bench players, role players. But I'm a big fan of Frank Kaminsky. I think he's got a good game. I like Cameron Payne, and I like Jay Crowder, but these 5 points, 8 points, they need a little bit more because they've got good scores on the court, but they're not the best scores. It's a lot of young. Devin Booker still young. You got the veteran Chris Paul. He's aging out of the league. DeAndre Ayton still young as heck. So you got some young bloods with the floor facilitator, the veteran at Chris Paul. But definitely the bench does need to step up a little bit here for the Suns. All right, John Morant. Very well done by him. Do we got a? No, we don't have a clip of John Morant. Unfortunate. Definitely watch John Morant play if you can, because this man, he's taken a huge step here at the point guard position. I think this is his third year in the league, and he's really kind of finally starting to take that second step. He was great as a rookie, great last year, but now he's really taking that, next step and, being the leader on the floor, being the person, the go-to late game, being clutch, being a game manager, and I love to see that. So Grizzlies get the win 108-104 over the Suns. Alrighty, Nets, Bucks. Ooh, huge game here. 2 title contenders in the East. No Kyrie Irving for the Nets, and it's no problem. No problem. Obviously, Kevin Durant and James Harden, that's enough. Do we need more talent on one team? So we all know Kevin Durant and James Harden can carry a team, and they just did that because James Harden had 34 points, Kevin Durant had 30 points, and Kevin Durant had an absolutely killer clutch three-pointer in the fourth quarter that really kind of won them the game because the Bucks and the Nets, they were battling. Close game back and forth in the fourth quarter. Kevin Durant, under 30 seconds left, hits a huge three. Do I have the time on it? 36 seconds left. It puts them up by 3 points, 125-128. So huge three by Kevin Durant, and it's classic Kevin Durant three. Tip out, rebound. He just steps into it. The purest shooting stroke in the game, folks. It's always automatic. So you knew it was going in. And then Chris Middleton with 2 seconds left has the chance at the game-tying buzzer beater, but it falls short. Unfortunate. It's a tough shot to make, and we know Chris Middleton is not always the clutchest three-point shooter. He's a decent three-point shooter throughout the game, but he's really not that clutch. So, a catch and shoot with only 2 seconds, you don't expect that to go. Who else are we talking about here? DeAndre Jordan, 12 points, 12 rebounds. Some nice action by him in the fourth quarter. Him getting to the free throw line is probably a good thing because we all know how poor of a free throw shooter he is. Jeff Green with a nice contribution here of 14 points. When you got James Harden and Kevin Durant both going for 30 apiece, it's hard for points to come. So very well done by the starters here. Joe Harris still getting his. He shot 5 of 7 from 3. That's what he does. That's his game. That's all they need him to do. So the fact that he went out there and did it while Kevin Durant gets his, while James Harden goes and gets his, and now they still need to make room for Kyrie Irving when he finally returns. So this Nets team, they're good. They're deep. They still got Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot on the bench that they barely play. He only plays 9 minutes. Chris Chiazza, they still got him off the bench. They are not even playing him. That's how kind of already good they are. They don't even need to play him. So, some good pieces here by the Nets, and they still got Kyrie Irving coming, folks. Alrighty, here we go. The Bucks. What do we got here? Giannis, 34 points. He did good down the stretch. 6 of 8 from the free throw line from him. That's a concern that we have, but 6 of 8, it's not bad. We can kind of accept that. Maybe not too much in this game since they lost by 2 and you missed 2 free throws, but 75% is definitely better than, some of the games that we've seen by him. The game, we saw it in game 1 against the Celtics where he missed a game-tying free throw with no time remaining, got fouled as time expires, and he goes 1 of 2 at the line to lose the game. So we know his free throw struggles here. Missed 2, they lose by 2. Coincidence? You only see one miss by Brook Lopez and one free throw missed by Chris Middleton. So, 4 missed free throws total. They lose by 2. Giannis, he's the guy here in Milwaukee. They just paid him. He really needs to hone in those free throws. But he did put up 34 points and 12 rebounds and 7 assists and shot 50% from the field. So he does everything else well. I don't think anybody doubts that, but the free throws are absolutely killer here for the Bucks. And what are the Bucks? What's their record? 9-5. They honestly could be like 11-3 if Giannis was shooting better free throws. It's crazy, but wins and losses coming down to free throws, got to make them. All right, let's go back here. Where's this game? Here we go. Other contributions from the Bucks. Chris Middleton, 25 big points, but he shot 0-5 from 3. We know he's not the best free throw or 3-point shooter, but he did have himself a good game at 25 points, and that's what the Bucks need. They need Giannis to go for 30. They need Chris Middleton to go for at least 20, 25 would be great, and that's what they did. But gotta hit the free throws. They're also not that deep. Look at this bench play. This is not good bench play. Pat Connaughton, 9 points. I'll give him that. 9 points, 6 rebounds in only 17 minutes. I can get behind that. So Pat Connaughton had a pretty decent game off the bench. But, what do we got here? Brian Forbes, 4 points. Bobby Portis, 4 points. DJ Augustine, 2 points. Got to be a little bit better than that, especially when Dante DiVincenzo is shooting 33% from the field and only putting up 8 points. So Bucks, they do have some key pieces, but it just really feels like all their starters need to be on their A game every game. They need a decent, one solid bench contributor, for them to win games where, Nets can win multiple ways. Oh, if Kevin Durant's on, if James Harden's not on, they still can win. If one of them's on, they'll probably win the game. Suns, you got Devin Booker or Chris Paul, John Morant in Memphis. So I feel like other teams have some, flexibility in ways they win. I really think the Bucks, the poor 3-point shooting, I should say the inconsistent 3-point shooting. They do have some games where everything's really hitting, but that just kind of speaks to, what I'm trying to say here, that the Bucks, they really just need everything to go right for them to win games, and it's going to get exhausting. That's why they don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals every single season, because, it's hard to sustain that kind of high level of play when you just went through 82 games and now we're in 70-game series in the playoffs. That's why James Harden has trouble in the playoffs, because he's going down the lane every single drive, getting fouled, getting hit, getting bumped. So the Bucks, they got a great squad, but they need something else. They need a good 3-point shooter that's reliable, that can come in and, from the first quarter hit threes, carrying out to the fourth quarter for buzzer beater 3-point opportunities, and they just don't have that. So Bucks, I think they'll kind of, be around number 2 in the East. Get a good, win the first round of the playoffs because they're facing number 7. And then, when they have to face a decent matchup in the second round, they'll probably flounder again like they did last year. Alrighty, so Nets get the win 125-123 over the Bucks. Alrighty, now let's go to the Raptors and the Dallas Mavericks, and the Raptors are getting back on track. All right, that's what we like to see. They had a real slow start to the season, but they just rallied off 3 wins in a row, folks, and now we can start buying them a little bit more. I thought that they were kind of finally getting figured out. People knew how to shut down, what Nick Nurse was coaching, and, these role players that were really playing above their potential the last 2 seasons have finally started to come down, but now they've rallied off 3 straight. So what do we make of this team? Well, let's see who's scoring, and we'll try to talk through it. So Kyle Lowry, 23 points, fantastic, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. He shot 75%. Holy cow, this is a great game by Kyle Lowry. No wonder why they won it. When you got your point guard going off in the points, the rebounds, the assists, and shooting very well, that's infectious. It gets everybody going, gets the offense going. Love to see that. Fred VanVleet, though, did not get the message of having a good game. 6 points, shot 20%, 1 of 6 from 3. Once again, role players. Fred VanVleet is a role player, folks, and he had a great couple of seasons, but now we're kind of seeing the real Fred VanVleet. Kind of seeing the real Pascal Siakam, even though he had a decent game here. Didn't shoot well, but he still put up 19 points, so I can still give it to him a little bit. But 0 for 4 from 3 by Pascal Siakam, 36%, 7 of 19 from the field. I mean, he definitely needs to hone it in more. Role players coming down a little bit. That's why, I think they've got like 4 wins this season. Let's quickly go to the Raptors spot here in the standings. They're also not playing in Toronto, so, another kind of obstacle that they definitely have to overcome. Raptors, where are they? Right here at number... Where the heck are they? Why am I not seeing them? They're in the East. I should probably go to the right side. They're number 13 in the East at 5-8, so they definitely have a huge uphill battle to climb. I mean, not too much. Number 13 where they are, they're 5-8, and to get to that number 8 seed for the playoffs is only 6-7. So about what is that? 2 games out. So. Game and a half out, 2 games out, however you want to describe it. So they still got time. Obviously, it's still, early in the season. We're talking about, 12 games in, 13 games in for some teams. So Raptors, they do have, they've got the pieces. They've proven that they can win titles, that they can be competitive, but, they still don't have that star player, and they definitely need him. All right, Mavericks, let's talk about them now. I mean, probably the most disappointing team this season. I mean, what they did last season in the bubble is not translating over here to this season. Yeah, Luka, is having triple-doubles, but it's not resulting in wins. When have we heard that before? Russell Westbrook. So Luka Doncic in this game that they lost, 15 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, but he shot 36%, 0 of 3 from the 3. Kristaps Porzingis, 23 points, 9 rebounds. Solid game from him. 2 of 5 from 3. Yeah, kind of solid game from him. Tim Hardaway Jr. Oh, boy. This is a main reason why they did not win this game. Tim Hardaway Jr. in 26 minutes of starting play. No points. 0 of 12 from the field. 0 of 12. God darn, kid. You couldn't even get an early layup to just kind of, spark your scoring. No easy buckets for Tim Hardaway Jr. The man was clamped all game. Couldn't even get to the free throw line once for 1 point. Darn. Truly darn here by the Mavericks, getting beat by the Raptors. What was the final score? They got absolutely blown out by what is this? What are we talking? 24 points here, 116-93. Holy cow, 23-point lead. Is that 23? Yeah, 23. So kind of a blowout here for the Mavericks. Where are they in the standings? Are they even in the top 8 here for a playoff spot? No, they're at number 10. They're outside looking in. Look at this kind of fall that they had from last season over to this season. So Mavericks, they do definitely have a tough road ahead of them. Luka Doncic really needs to, he doesn't need to step up his play, but he needs to start elevating the play around him. He's got the skills, he's got the talent. I mean, nobody's doubting that, but they need to start winning more games. Kristaps Porzingis needs to start stepping up a little bit, and now they need to find that third option. You need really 3 great options in this league if you want to have success, if you want to compete for a championship, if you want to win games on a consistent basis. You need 3. Either 2 starters or a bench, or 3 starters, but you need 3. And really, Dallas, they got Luka, they got Kristaps Porzingis. Who's their third? Because we are just seeing Tim Hardaway Jr. shoot 0 of 12 in a game. That's not consistent. I don't want to see that. So if you're going to argue that Tim Hardaway Jr. is the third here, I'm going to bring you back to this game. So we'll keep an eye on the Mavericks here as their struggles kind of continue, and try to pinpoint what is wrong with this Mavericks team. So far, it's just got to be they don't have the third. Alrighty, here we go. Pistons in the Heat. In the Heat don't have Jimmy Butler, and when the Heat don't have Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler, he's not the greatest scorer. He's not going to go and get you 30 points every single game. He's a solid, 19, 22 point, but his energy, his leadership on the court is really the best thing about him. So when he's out, the chemistry the flow of the ball, the flow of the game is a little off when he's not on there, but they had to face the Pistons here, so this is an easy win for them, even without Jimmy Butler. So let's start here with the Heat. Goran Dragic, 22 points. Always can count on him. Shot 60% from the field. Didn't have a great day shooting the three, but he's still putting up 22 points, and that's what we want from the man. Duncan Robinson, 18 points. Bam Adebayo, 28 points. Now, Kelly Olynyk floundered a little bit, only 9 points. KZ Akabala. Never even heard of that man before, but he only played three minutes, so that's probably why we've never heard of him. No points, obviously, in 3 minutes. All right, Kendrick Nunn, 18 points off the bench, very well done, and, that's how they get the win. Nobody else really kind of showed up between those, 4 main pieces, Dragic, Robinson, Bam Adebayo, and Kendrick Nunn, but those are, main pieces here in this offense that you expect to go out and get nice buckets. So, no Jimmy Butler, no problem here for the Heat. But they faced the Pistons, so now let's get into them. I mean, we said at the top of the show we have to talk about Blake Griffin, and we're going to be talking about him right now. 5 points in 35 minutes. 5 points, 35 minutes. Not good. Not good. 5 rebounds in 35 minutes. Not the greatest. 1 assist. Not the greatest. What are we doing out there, Blake? Missing threes? That's what I'm seeing here. 1 of 6 from 3. Why? Why are we taking all these threes? 2 of 8 from the field. Why are you not down low? Why did you get no free throw attempts this entire game, Blake? What are we doing here? Truly the biggest flounder, I think, of all time is Blake Griffin. We saw him with Chris Paul in those Clippers days. Absolutely fantastic, magnificent, dunking on everybody. What do you have? 1 good year, 1 good run, and then he just really started to drop every single year after that. And now he's in Detroit, and they got nobody here to really help him out. So Blake Griffin, a huge, not good game here. And they've got, what are we talking about? Their starters. You got Deion Wright here, the point guard, 2 points, 2 assists. He's not facilitating the floor or scoring the ball. Wayne Ellington, 24 points. We can get behind that. Mason Plumlee, 15 points, 7 rebounds going down low, 7 of 10 from down low. So just, easy little layups there. Everything. So those are all good. And then we get Jeremy Grant, 27 points, shot 52%. So that's good. It's really Blake Griffin not working. And now let's talk about Derrick Rose. He's coming off the bench. He's having pretty much good success here. 21 points. He shot 54% in the 26 minutes that he was out there, and he had 4 assists. So I really think Derrick Rose should be in the starting lineup, and I really think the offense of this Pistons team really needs to be, high pick and roll, heavy pick and roll between Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin. Let's, kind of replicate of what the Clippers did. Chris Paul, CP to BG, Chris Paul to Blake Griffin when they had those days. I think their games can still complement each other, Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin. Derrick Rose, he's an decent 3-point shooter. He's explosive as heck. He can run the pick and roll absolutely perfect with Blake Griffin, and we all know Blake Griffin's a great dunker, or was. Maybe he's lost it trying to develop this 3-point shot that's non-existent. But something's got to change here. It's not getting done, and it's still not working. What are we, 12 games in for this Pistons team? Where are they in the standings here? Detroit Pistons, last in the East, 3-10. Not good here. Something's got to change. I want to see Blake Griffin start to step it up a little bit more, but I do not think that's ever going to happen. I think I've kind of, waited on Blake Griffin a little bit too long, and we officially have to move off of him. I was really even kind of rooting for him, early last season before the bubble when he was actually still playing. So he's not getting better. He's not developing. He's going to be a no-name here. I don't think if he leaves the Pistons, I don't think any team picks him up. I don't really see what value he brings to a team. So the Heat without Jimmy Butler get the win 113-107 over the Detroit Pistons. All right, what do we got? 3 more games? 2 more games left here. Alrighty, Rockets and the Bulls, and this was Victor Oladipo's first game as a Houston Rocket, and I kind of liked what I saw from him, honestly. Let's talk about him. He dropped 32 points on 56% shooting, 44% from the 3, 9 assists, absolutely working good here. No John Wall here for the Rockets, unfortunately. So, when he's back, That could work pretty decent. Eric Gordon, 21 points, and Christian Wood, 30 huge points by him as well. Holy cow. He had himself a magnificent game. Holy moly. 30 points, 9 rebounds. He shot 70%, 68% from the field. He shot 3 of 5 from the 3. He shot 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Really doing everything great here. Wow. Very well done, Christian Wood. We've got to keep tabs on this man. Center for the Houston Rockets. Keep an eye out for this man because this is a great stat line here. Holy cow. I did not think he had that good of a game, but he did. Unfortunately, the Houston still lost, but definitely something that we can kind of keep an eye on now that this Houston team is trying to get to what they are actually, now that they don't have to worry about, James Harden anymore. They got Victor Oladipo. They got their guy. They still got John Wall. So they still got real good pieces, and I am kind of excited to see, John Wall and Victor Oladipo kind of play together. Houston, I don't think they have really anything to worry about. Give them, a week or two. I mean, Victor Oladipo is already, contributing here right off the rip in his first game at 32 points. So They've got a decent squad here. Decent squad. Alrighty, and then the Chicago Bulls. Very well done for them getting a win. Where are the Bulls here in the standings? Let's see. Currently in number 11, the 11th in the West at 6-8. Alrighty, where are the Rockets? Let's do that too. They are number 14 in the West at 4-8. So they definitely have a lot in uphill battle to climb. But they got the pieces to do it. So we can still root for the Rockets a little bit this season. Alrighty, now let's go to the Bulls. Zach LaVine, a monster game by him. Classic what he does. 33 points, 11 of 16 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Absolutely monster game, going along with 7 assists and 4 rebounds. Now, the 5 turnovers, that can definitely be toned down a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, he won the game, so we can kind of forgive the 5 a little bit, but clean it up for next game. They don't got any. I mean, this Bulls team, they don't have any big names. Zach LaVine's their biggest name, but they all kind of got it done on the starters. So, I mean, look at these point totals by these starters here by the Bulls. Garrett Temple, 13 points. Larry McCarron, 18 points, and I think he had the go-ahead bucket there, Larry McLaurin. So he kind of won him the game here for the Bulls. I think it was like a 1-point game with under 30 seconds left. Larry McCarron, I think he hits a big old 3 that puts him up 2 possessions. Yeah, puts him up a couple of points here with like 1 second left. So very well done to Larry McCarron, 18 points, starter. Then we get Wendell Carter Jr., 10 points. Zach LaVine, we already said 33. And Kobe White with 10 points. So great contribution here from the starters. And some decent bench play as well. Thaddeus Young with 12 points. And Denzel Valentine with 13 points as well. And then Robbie, I don't even know how to say this man's last name, Eric Erdicano. 9 points. Ryan off the bench with 9 points. And then Daniel Gofford with 7 points. So solid contribution off this bench. No namers, but a lot of role players. Zach LaVine's the big star, and all these role players getting it done. So very well done by the Bulls getting the win, 125 over the Rockets. And then that brings us to the last game of the night, the Lakers and Warriors. And the Warriors pull off a huge upset here, 115-113. And this game, this game was Lakers would get out to a big lead, from basically 11 to 19-point lead. And then the Warriors would come back, and then the Lakers would extend the lead back up to 11 to 19. The largest lead they had was 19 points in this game. And, it's just seemed like the Warriors would get back into it and the Lakers would stomp them back out. This was going on throughout the entire game. And then it came to the fourth quarter. Lakers had the 11-point lead. Warriors came back, chipped it away, finally got the lead, and never looked back. So very well done here. And really, we're going to preface with everything we're saying with a little bit of a highlight tape here. We're going to watch just kind of the final plays here of this nice push that the Warriors do. So here we go. Lakers, Kyle Kuzma, nice little bucket here. That gives them let's get the lead here, a nice 106-99 lead, so a 7-point lead by the Lakers with 5 minutes left. And then it's the usual suspects for the Warriors that bring this game home. So let's watch this very quickly. We get Kelly Oubre, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green making huge buckets. Steph Curry here, nice layup. Fantastic. Then we get Kelly Oubre, a huge addition here for the Warriors, a great pickup. And then we get Draymond Green, who everybody clowns. He is a huge part of this team. They get the 2-point lead because of him. And then another one down low, another bucket, extending the lead by 4. So Draymond Green clutch down the stretch, and I absolutely love it, folks. Draymond Green is a huge part of this Warriors team. We accept no clownery of Draymond Green here at Takes by Fans, folks. We don't want to hear it. And then it's Steph Curry doing classic Steph Curry things, just toying with defenders. A 3-pointer that puts him up 5. And then LeBron James, last second buzzer beater attempt, does not fall, unfortunately. And I'm sure if you're on social media, all you're hearing is LeBron James not hitting that, buzzer beater 3. Little bit of a tough shot here. Let's watch it again. Only 1.7 on the clock. He's covered. He's guarded by Draymond Green. So clamp down on defense by Draymond Green. Easy buckets in the paint by Draymond Green. We should just call this the Draymond Green show, honestly. I'm a big fan of what he does and what he brings to this Warriors team and this Warriors dynasty. It's refusing to be officially quit. The dynasty has not officially fallen yet because of what Draymond Green is doing. And what Steph Curry is doing, and Steve Kerr, obviously. But Draymond Green's got a nice part in this. So let's talk about it. Steph Curry, 26 big old points. He only shot 3 of 12 from 3, but he hit the clutch 3 when it mattered to put them up 5, and that really sealed the game there. So Steph Curry, huge buckets. Kelly Oubre Jr., 23 points, and so nothing great. 2 of 5 from 3 by him, but once again hitting key shots down the stretch with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter to really bring them back close, get them the lead, let Steph Curry do what he does, and let Draymond Green do what he does, because Draymond Green only had 7 points. We just saw 4 of them right there down the stretch, winning games in the fourth quarter. I can get behind that all day. So 7 points by Draymond Green, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, just really doing everything. He didn't have a great game, 3 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from the 3, but at the end of the day, it's what you do down the stretch when you have a chance to win the game. I mean, this is a team game. We need you to step up right now because we're still in it because of Steph Curry and Kelly Oubre Jr. hitting big shots, putting up a lot of points, and then they just needed Draymond Green. Let's get some points here in the fourth quarter, lock down on defense in the fourth quarter, and that's what he does. So loved it. Andrew Wiggins, 18 points, very well done. He shot 63%. I mean, the best shooting percentage of the starters, but then we get Eric Paschall off the bench with 19 points, and he shot 72%. So that was good. And Andrew Wiggins trying to find his fit, find his rhythm in this Warriors offense, and this is a good team. I mean, I do like the starting lineup by the Warriors. Curry, Kelly Oubre, James Wiseman, the rookie center. He's having, a decent year. I mean, he's a rookie. I don't expect rookies to make a huge impact. I'm actually a little surprised that he's actually starting, but that just speaks to how kind of lack of depth big men that the Warriors have. But, James Wiseman, coming into his own, slowly but surely. They're only, he only played 12 minutes, so slowly working him, as a starter. And then, Draymond Green and Andrew Wiggins. So I like this starting lineup for the Warriors. Yes, obviously with Klay Thompson, this would be a title contender. But, they are, they're making what they're making do. They're making the best of what they got, and it's actually really kind of good. Alrighty, Lakers, who floundered here? Why did they lose to the Warriors? Well, LeBron only put up 19 points, not 29. He did have 5 turnovers as well. He missed a kind of game-winning 3. Tough shot to make, and he also shot 37%. Anthony Davis, 17 points. He also shot 37%. Now, he did have 17 rebounds, which is absolutely wonderful. 7 assists, which once again is absolutely wonderful. 2 steals, 3 blocks, once again, absolutely wonderful, and he topped it off with only 1 turnover. So everything Anthony Davis did was great, except in the scoring column. This Lakers team, they still need LeBron James and Anthony Davis to get at least 20. Now, last season in the bubble, LeBron needed to get 25 and Anthony Davis needed to get 25. But with this addition of Dennis Schroeder, I mean, they don't need LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They don't need to be the main scorers every time because this was the best pickup. This is maybe the best Lakers team. I mean, I think this Lakers team is better this year than they were last year. And I think this is probably the best team LeBron James has ever played with. Dennis Schroeder was the perfect pickup here by the Lakers. They needed just kind of a guard that can shoot and consistently make threes, and that's what Schroeder brings to the table, is consistent offense. Now, he only shot 1 of 5 from 3 in this game, so he didn't have a great day, but he still put up 25 points, leading scorer, and he shot 53% from the field. So not a great three-point shooting day, but he still got to the line 9 times, contributed 25 points, and that's what the Lakers need. Alrighty, KCP, only 4 points, kind of another reason. They definitely need, KCP to give you like 10 points. Like, we need, the starters to contribute some points here. Marc Gasol, only 5 points. That's not going to get it done. Coupling that with KCP's only 4 points, we need somebody else to step up. And that's where Kyle Kuzma came in this game. I mean, what a game by him off the bench. 15 points. He shot 3 of 7 from 3. I can get behind that. If you're putting up 15 points, at least 10 plus points off the bench, I can definitely get behind that. And he had 10 rebounds to go along with that. So Kyle Kuzma coming into his own a little bit here off the bench. Another perfect example of this Lakers team getting a little bit better, losing Danny Green, moving Kyle Kuzma to the bench, getting him, on, a good bench role, good minutes off the bench, 24 minutes, and, they're making it work. All right, we'll finally talk about Montrezl Harrell here. 17 points, 8 rebounds off the bench. He shot 7 of 8 from the field, so, nice down low game. And, that's great. That's what they need, a nice little beef down low that's contributing in the scoring off the bench. So this team is good. It just a little lack of contribution from KCP really hurt them. Really kind of low contribution from Alex Caruso off the bench with only 7 points. It's decent. It's decent, but they needed somebody else to step up scoring, and unfortunately LeBron and Anthony Davis could not do that. So Lakers lose a close one to the Warriors, 115-113. Alrighty, so those are all the NBA games from yesterday. What do we got on the docket for today? Any good matchups? Let's see what we got here. Only 2 games on today, is that right? That is right. Wow. All right. They are on NBA TV. So no primetime national televised games, but if you got League Pass, you've got NBA TV, you can be watching Thunder and Nuggets and the Pelicans and the Jazz today. All right. I like this Pelicans team. Brandon Ingram's doing real well. Nuggets trying to get back on track of what they were last year, Jokic and Murray. So we'll keep an eye on all them tomorrow on the show. Alrighty, let's close out the show. We'll switch back over to the NFL now, and we got to update our cash and trash list. We had, divisional round of playoffs. This is the time to step up and be cash. I want to see some great performances, and we had a couple of good performances. I don't know if there was really a great performance. Maybe Aaron Rodgers. That was probably the best performance of the day. So here it is, the cash list going into this week. We had Josh Allen, Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Rodgers, Stephon Diggs, Cam Akers, Lamar Jackson, and the entire Browns team. So here we go. We'll go through top to bottom, reevaluate these players, and we do have a couple of additions, 2 additions here of being cash. So let's start here with Josh Allen, of what he did against the Ravens. Not a great performance by him. Like we kind of said, it was a game manager performance, 23 completions, only 206 yards. We can definitely buy that. We can definitely get behind that. And the biggest thing that Josh Allen is not doing is turning the ball over. And for that reason alone, we are going to keep him on the cash list. Josh Allen, he can sling it. He's proven that. He's proven he can be the game manager. All these other playoff teams are turning over the ball. Ravens, Lamar Jackson throwing the pick 6. Rashard Higgins fumbling out of bounds on the goal line, losing possession there. Drew Brees, 3 interceptions, but it's Josh Allen, 3rd season in. He had 58% completion percentage last season, and he's turning it around the biggest 180. I would even say 100, and it doesn't make sense, but I'm going to say it's 181 degrees. I'll give him the extra 1 degree, even though that kind of means not good. It doesn't mean what you kind of think it means, but we're saying it anyway. 181 degree turnaround here because it's so great. And I love everything about it. So Josh Allen, very well done. He's cash for another week, folks. Alrighty, Alvin Kamara and the Saints lost. So unfortunate. I think it was held under 100 yards rushing by like 1 yard. He had 99. 85. So good game here by Alvin Kamara. 18 carries, 85 yards. I mean, 4.7 yards a carry. That's pretty good. I can definitely get behind that. But not scoring. He didn't have any touchdowns. He also caught 5 passes for 28 yards, but once again, no touchdowns. So a very good game by Alvin Kamara, but I don't think it was cash worthy, especially them losing. Truly unfortunate there by Alvin Kamara. He's a fantastic weapon, but, Drew Brees aging out kind of hurting his career a little bit because Drew Brees these last 2 seasons hasn't looked really sharp as he kind of has been his entire career. So really unfortunate. So we are going to take Alvin Kamara off the cash list. Already, Jonathan Taylor, we only kept him on here for one more week because, of his performance, 2 weeks ago. Loved it, kept him on the cash list, but we now officially have to take him off. So, Jonathan Taylor, a very, very great season. Colts fans, you're just a quarterback plug and play away from being competitive in the AFC. So, bright things to come from the Colts and Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines. So, Nyheim Hines is off the cash list. All right, let's go to Aaron Rodgers, and I would probably say this is the best performance of the weekend, Aaron Rodgers. So, of course, we will keep this man on the cash list. 23 of 36, 296 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, fantastic. He's getting the ball to his weapons. Allen Lazard with the touchdown catch. Devontae Adams with the touchdown catch. So, that's exactly what you want to see from Aaron Rodgers, absolutely. Best performance of the night. I mean, he could have been a game manager. I mean, because the running game was absolutely fantastic as well. Aaron Jones, 14 carries, 99 yards, and a score. It would couple that with Jamal Williams, 12 carries, 65 yards. I mean, that's exactly what, the Packers could have done. They could have been game manager for Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers says, no, I'm going to sling it around 300 yards, two passing touchdowns, and we're going to get out of here. And then also run for one to kind of stunt on these hoes. So very well done by the Packers. Best performance of the week, Aaron Rodgers. So absolutely he will stay on the cash list. Alrighty, Stephon Diggs. Well, Josh Allen's still on the cash list, so, by transitive property, Stephon Diggs should still be on the cash list, and yes, that's exactly what we're doing here. What do we got? 8 receptions for 104 yards, 106 yards and a touchdown. That's what he does, folks. 1 touchdown by Josh Allen, and it's going to Stephon Diggs. We know this, and the Ravens still cannot stop it. So, love everything about it. Josh Allen's playing well. Stephon Diggs is playing well. And they're both cash for another week going into the AFC Championship game. Holy moly. Alrighty. So he stays on the cash list. Alrighty, let's go to Cam Akers now. Unfortunately, they lose the game. Was it Cam Akers' fault? Well, he had a pretty good game here. 18 carries, 90 yards, and he scored a touchdown. Very well done. Unfortunately, Jared Goff just could not get out of the dink and dunk, could do really anything great. Cam Akers had a great game. The run was trying to open up the pass, but the Packers defense was not letting anything deep. I mean, 21 completions for only 174 yards. Jared Goff, that's dink and dunk. So Cam Akers, the bright spot of this Rams offense, but unfortunately, you know what? We're going to do like what we did with Jonathan Taylor. I think we're going to keep Cam Akers on for another week. He kind of deserves it. I mean, really just sticking with it. 5 yards a carry. He scored. He contributed to the offense. And, it was really Jared Goff that kind of let him down a little bit. The defense that kind of let him down a little bit. I mean, you gave up 32 points. It's hard to score 32 points in a game. The Rams, I think they scored more than 30 points like twice all season. So just from that aspect alone, the defense kind of lost him the game. Cam Akers, the one bright spot, the one constant offense. And, we originally, on the notes, I had him taking him off, but I'm talking myself into keeping him on here for one more week. So, Cam Akers, enjoy one more week of the cash list because, unfortunately, we will have to take you off next week because, you're not playing. Alrighty, cash list, Lamar Jackson. Oof, this is going to be a touchy subject, folks. He's not cash no more. We can definitely say that. And, it's probably not going to be great for him when we go over to the trash list in a minute. But, 14 of 24, 162 yards. He was playing well. He was doing fantastic up until the pick 6 in the red zone. And that's when it all fell apart. So definitely not cash if you're throwing red zone interceptions and red zone pick 6s. Truly unfortunate. And it also kind of sucks he couldn't make up for that, getting knocked out, I think, on the very next drive or the second drive after that. But truly unfortunate by Lamar Jackson. Another kind of early playoff exit. Not great, man, but he's fantastic and we still like him. But this week, not his best week. Alrighty, and then that finally brings us to the last reevaluation on the cash list. The Browns. What do we got going on? They lose the game, unfortunately. So some bad spots by the Browns. You know, the turnover by Baker Mayfield. Luckily, he got bailed out on defense. The fumble out of bounds by Rashad Higgins, probably the biggest factor of why the Browns lost this game. So for two crucial mistakes, yes, the entire Browns team is no longer cash. You can't be cash if you're putting up only 17 points and you're turning over the balls multiple times. So unfortunate there. The Browns are no longer cash. Alrighty, but we do have two additions here. Two big old additions on the cash list, so let's find out who else is cash. The first one is coming. We got to go back to the Packers matchup, and I mean, I kind of hinted at it already. I mean, what a performance by the running backs here, especially Aaron Jones. So Aaron Jones, 14 carries, 99 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, look at what the Bills did rushing the ball. Nothing. They barely ran the ball, first of all, and they didn't get any great production out of it. 25 yards only. So Aaron Rodgers, better passing game than Josh Allen. The entire Green Bay's offense, better rushing game than the Bills did. And that's fantastic. So we are going to put Aaron Jones up on the big old cash list. Very well done. I mean, Aaron Rodgers just could have been a game manager, and Aaron Jones would have led them to victory. But, you know, this is Aaron Rodgers' team. I mean, this man wants to be the reason why he wins a ring. So maybe he's in Matt LaFleur's ear a little bit saying, you know what, let's stop the run. The run's getting a little bit too good. Let's get the ball back into my hands, all right? So Aaron Jones, very well done. Aaron Rodgers, very well done. The two Aarons back on the list here for the Packers. Alrighty, and then our last edition here of the cash list, we're going back to Buffalo, and we're going to give it up to the Bills defense. I mean, what a wonderful job. They held the Ravens to only 3 points. Lamar Jackson didn't run wild. They picked him off in the end zone. It was a pick six. It was a 103-yard pick six return for a touchdown. I mean, that's fantastic. That basically iced the game. That sealed the game right there. All momentum was instantly sucked away from the Ravens. That gave the Bills 17 points. The game was over at that point. So the Bills defense kind of won them the game. I would say 100% won them the game. Let's go back to these rushing numbers. Gus Edwards, 42 yards. J.K. Dobbins, 42 yards. Lamar Jackson, only 34 yards. I mean, in a normal game, you'd be like, oh, the running back by committee did real good. But of what the Ravens are capable of, this was a down game for them. And we have to give it up to this Bills defense. Josh Norman. Everybody on this Bills defense. Who had the pick six? Let me find out this man's name. Tayron Johnson, absolutely magnificent. 1 interception, 101 yards officially. Absolutely magnificent. Matt Milano, 2 pass defenses. Tre'Davious White, a pass defense. Tremaine Edwards, a pass defense. So not letting anything deep down the field. Turnovers, pick sixes, keeping the run game in check. Closing out the game for all those reasons. Very well done to the Bills D. Alrighty, so as we see, you know, the cash list is dwindling a little bit, and that's obviously for good reasons because we have less and less teams. But going into the championship games, the AFC, the NFC, we got Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Stephon Diggs, Cam Akers, Aaron Jones, and the Bills defense. Very well done. Alrighty, so since we just did the cash list, we got to go to the bad side. When there's cash, there's always trash, folks. So we got to find the trash. The trash list going into this week was literally all the bad players from last week, and now we can officially designate them our 2020 Hall of Fame. So these new players will be joining Andy Dalton, Brandon Allen, Miami Dolphins, and Teddy Bridgewater, of all being very, very trash down the stretch. If you end the season on the trash list, you will be designated a 2020 Hall of Famer trash list, and you will be on here for the rest of the offseason, and you will stay on this trash list until you prove yourself next season. So you definitely don't want to be on here. So Mitch Trubisky was trash last week, but we so we kept him on another week, and now we can officially designate him a 2020 Hall of Famer. So very, very well done. I mean, this is the 2020 Hall of Famer trash list MVP, folks. Mitch Trubisky is not good. He's never been good. He'll probably won't have a chance to, earn himself off this trash list, so we'll probably have to just kind of kick him off because he won't be starting. But Mitch Trubisky, well done. Welcome to the trash list. Welcome to the trash list Hall of Fame. Alrighty, Russell Wilson. It's time for him to be a Hall of Famer too as well. I mean, just down the stretch, not getting it done, and especially in the playoff game. So welcome Russell Wilson to the 2020 Hall of Fame trash list. Frank Reich is the next man up. Come get your jacket, sir. Your play calling was absolutely not great for a playoff game on the road, and you're not taking points. What are we doing here? So Frank Reich, very well done. Welcome to the 2020 Hall of Fame trash list. Big Ben, I mean, oh my goodness. Yes, you threw for 5 touchdowns and 500 yards your last game, but you threw for, or was it 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions? Those are Jameis Winston numbers, and those aren't great. Those don't win you games. Big Ben, welcome to the 2020 Hall of Fame. Come get your trash list jacket before you go get your Hall of Fame jacket that I'm sure you'll get once you retire. And then Mike Tomlin. Absolutely. I mean, what are we doing? Resting players week 17 when they don't deserve to be rested. And then because of that decision, literally everything went wrong 2 weeks ago against the Browns. So Mike Tomlin, welcome to the 2020 Trash List Hall of Fame. And now we have 3 additions here who will be joining, who will first endure the trash list. And then next week we'll come back at you with our trash list and nominate them as, or designate them the 2020 Hall of Fame trash list. Alrighty, so some tough names. These are some tough names that we are going to have to put on here, but they're all well-deserved, unfortunately. So the first one, we got to go to Baltimore, folks, unfortunately, and I'm sure y'all know where we're going with this one. Lamar Jackson. I mean, he had a good game up to that pick 6, but in the playoffs, you can't even get away with 1 interception. Regular season, you throw an interception, you still got a decent chance to win. You probably go from 50-50 chance, of throwing no picks to probably 40-60 with 1 pick. Still kind of decent odds, obviously not great, but still decent odds. If you're throwing an interception in the playoffs, you're going down to like 25% win percentage at that point. So, and then if you throw a pick 6, you might as well just knock that up to like 5% chance of winning. So Lamar Jackson, truly unfortunate. Couldn't even redeem himself, got knocked out of the game. But that pick, man, that would have been a 10-10 game. Lamar Jackson probably still healthy because the center's not, freaking out for some reason and throwing the ball over Lamar Jackson's head. So it is truly unfortunate, but it is kind of deserved. Lamar Jackson, unfortunately, ending on the trash list. But, he's got some, company that can probably make him feel better. I mean, Russell Wilson's on the list. I mean, obviously you don't want to be on a list with Mitch Trubisky because that's not good. But if Russell Wilson's on there, I feel a little bit better. Alrighty, so Lamar Jackson's the first trash list nominee. Then we get, we got to do this, man, right? Going to the Browns game. I mean, can y'all guess who we're putting on here? No, we're not doing Baker Mayfield. We got to do Rashad Higgins. Once again, a huge turnover. This would have been a 16-10 game, close game. Unfortunately, Higgins trying to score the touchdown, loses the ball, fumbles out of the end zone, lose possession. And they don't get any points out of that drive. How unfortunate. So Rashad Higgins, trying to do a little bit too much, and it bites you in the butt. Rashad Higgins, welcome to the trash list. Alrighty, and I mean, crazy. This is going to be a 2020 Hall of Famer that's probably never going to be able to get a chance to earn himself off this trash list. He's probably going to retire. We got to go to the Saints game, and this was a close game, folks. It was a close game, but once again, what happened? Turnovers happened, and we're not talking about 1. We're not even talking about 2. We're talking about a dreaded 3-interception game by Drew Brees, and a 3-interception game to go along with a dink and dunk game. 19 completions for 134 yards, dink and dunk. So he wasn't doing anything all game. He's throwing picks, and the Bucs literally won the game because of all those interceptions. What do we tally the points at? 17 points off of interceptions. We get a touchdown. a touchdown, and a touchdown. So 21 points. The Saints could have won 20-9 if Drew Brees did not throw interceptions. Unfortunate. What rule are we going to implement this season to fix what happened to blow out the Saints in a playoff game? Are we just going to make interceptions, nothing now? Oh, if you throw an interception, that's fine. You get a do-over. Is that going to be the rule change that the Saints will implement, a do-over? Oh, I didn't mean that. Give me the ball back. Drew Brees, I didn't mean to throw that. I didn't mean to throw that, ref. You got to give me the ball back. That's probably what's going to happen next season, folks. So, Drew Brees, what a truly, truly unfortunate end. He was my GOAT, my greatest of all time pick, but these last 2 seasons, not getting it done, not getting another ring. I got to name him as number 3 now, number 2, depending on what Aaron Rodgers does this season. If Aaron Rodgers wins another ring, we got Tom at 1, Rodgers at 2, and Drew Brees is following it from a potential 1 all the way down to number 3. And don't come at me, you can make the argument for Aaron Rodgers number 1, Tom Brady 2. I was just setting an example, a commonly accepted example. So Drew Brees. So that's what we got for the cash and trash list. Andy Dalton, Brandon Allen, Miami Dolphins, Mitch Trubisky, Teddy Bridgewater, Russell Wilson, Frank Reich, Big Ben, Mike Tomlin, all officially Hall of Famers. Next week, we'll induct Lamar Jackson, Rashard Higgins, and Drew Brees as Hall of Famers for trash as well, for their poor, very, very poor performances down the stretch here in clutch time. Week 17, playoff round 1, playoff round 2. Got to step it up a little bit, folks. Alrighty, that is going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We're back tomorrow, noon Eastern. We are going to be doing our Wednesday film study in the NFL. We will still be talking about NBA as well, breaking down the 2 games. So another packed show coming at you tomorrow. For what we're going to be watching in film, we got to watch a lot of Tom Brady because I'm not buying him, and he's going to have to go up against Aaron Rodgers. And we're basically just going to compare Aaron Rodgers to Tom Brady. So we'll probably be watching those 2 games. For the Bills game, maybe watch the Bills defense a little bit. Why were they so successful in stopping the Ravens run? And then what do we got? The Chiefs Browns game. We'll take a look at Chad Henne because we're still not sure if Patrick Mahomes is going to be good to go. And we'll probably watch Baker Mayfield a little bit. Send him off on a high note because he's getting clowned on social media for no reason. They gave him a 0% chance to win against the Chiefs, and I did not agree with any of that. So we'll kind of shout him out a little bit on the show as well. But yeah, that's what we got. We're back here tomorrow, noon Eastern. Takes by Fans, folks. So